Let's get into it. Sold Not For Sale podcast. Coach Colin here. Trump gets rid of Fauci's security detail. Oh, how sweet it is. Listen to this.
Security detail for Anthony Fauci was terminated last night, and I'm wondering if you have any comment on that.
About what?
The security detail for Anthony Fauci was terminated last night, sir. Do you have a comment?
No, I think, when you work for government, at some point your security detail comes off. And, you can't have them forever. So I think it's very standard. If it would be for somebody else, you wouldn't be asking the question. The question is very fair. But, you work for government. We took some off, other people too. But you can't have a security detail for the rest of your life because you work for government.
For it to be taken off, sir?
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Would you feel partially responsible if something were to happen to, say, Dr. Fauci
No.
or John Bolton?
No. They all made a lot of money. They can hire their own security, too. All the people you're talking about, they can go out. I can give them some good numbers of very good security people. They can hire their own security. They all made a lot of money. Fauci made a lot of money. They all did. So if they, felt that strongly, I think that certainly I would not take responsibility.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding? How many executive orders? But then on top of it, he does that for us. Oh God. This is just tremendous. They made a lot of money. They made a lot of money. I can give them some numbers. I can give them some numbers to call, some great security. Oh my gosh. Oh, I wish he would speak a little bit more about that money that Fauci made. I wish they could press him to go a little bit deeper into that, because he's right at the edge. He wants to say a little something, but these reporters, they still view Fauci as like this hero patriot type person. So they're not going to press it. And some of the reporters know exactly what he means also. There's that. But that's just amazing. Oh, perfect. Trump, he already said he's not taking revenge, but he's doing things, whereas Trump in the first term might have just gone a little more brazenly at somebody, with this, he's being very polite. He's going by the book. No, we just got rid of their security detail. It's fine. It's very standard. He's just playing by the book. He's like, I could leave it on forever as just a favor if I wanted to, but no, it's very standard that they just lose it over time. Shouldn't have security just because you worked for the government, And I love it because, when he's out of office, they might be like, well, we're taking away yours. He's like, I'm a billionaire. I don't care. I'm good. I had security before I got in office. I'll have security after. So this is like something where they just can't even touch him but after he's out of office. I love it. I love it so much. Now, if you didn't realize what the reporter said, she said, would you feel any personal responsibility if something were to happen to Fauci? And she also mentioned John Bolton because his security also got taken away. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. But he said, no, of course not. Why should he? And hey, what would happen to him? He didn't do anything wrong, right? So it's fine. He'll be just fine. He's a patriot. He's a hero. Saved millions upon millions of lives. What would happen? I don't think anything's going to happen. I'd be surprised, Anyway, John Bolton as well got his security detail taken away. Trump talks about that when asked as well.
Why did you remove John Bolton's security clearance, sir?
Because I think there was enough time. It's we take a job. You take a job. You want to do a job. We're not going to have security on people for the rest of their lives. Why should we? I thought he was a very dumb person, but I used him well because every time people saw me come into a meeting with John Bolton standing behind me, they thought that he'd attack them because he was a warmonger. He's the one that got us involved, along with Cheney and a couple of others, convinced Bush, which was a terrible decision, to blow up the Middle East. We blew up the Middle East and we left. We got nothing out of it except a lot of death. We killed a lot of people And John Bolton was, one of those guys, a stupid guy. But no, you can't have that for life. You shouldn't expect it for life.
You can't have that for life. You shouldn't expect it for life. This right here is the best part of the video. This right here.
Revoke John Bolton's security clearance, sir.
It was,
I don't know. I don't know. It's just not standard. Has nothing to do with the fact that he stabbed me in the back. The fact that he keeps on speaking down about everybody that I want confirmed in my administration has nothing to do with that. It's just standard. Why would he have it for the rest of his life? I don't know. Why? Do American people not like him or something? Well, I haven't heard anything. I don't know. Oh, beautiful. Solid moves. He also took it away from Mike Pompeo as well. Apparently, Benny Johnson here saying it was $2 million a month for Mike Pompeo's security detail. The New York Times writes about Trump revoked security detail for Mike Pompeo and others despite threats from Iran. Hey, they're far away. Don't worry. It's okay. No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You didn't do anything wrong. These guys are all patriots. They're all heroes, you know? This is Mike Pompeo, if you didn't know. Tucker Carlson made it very clear how he felt about Mike Pompeo. He even said something on Joe Rogan's podcast. Do I have that? I have that right here. Let's listen to this real quick. Just a little bit.
The next day, I'll never forget it, I went quail hunting. And I was driving back, and I got a phone call from Mike Pompeo's lawyer. Mike Pompeo was the Secretary of State, but before then, he was the director of the CIA. And in that position, he plotted the murder of Julian Assange. So he is a criminal as far as I'm concerned. But his lawyer called me and said, you should know that anyone who tells you the contents of classified documents has committed a crime. He's threatening me. This is in my car. With my dog sitting next to me, I'll never forget this. And I said, are you really saying that to reveal that the U.S. government had a role in the murder of a democratically elected president, to say that out loud, that's the crime? What about the actual crime, which is murdering a president? Like, you're covering up for that, Mike Pompeo. What did he say to that? He had no response at all. And
I have to say also, this kind of goes in line with what Joe Rogan has said many times in regards to RFK, that if that wasn't true, Tucker Carlson has gone on record saying that on Joe Rogan's podcast. Tucker has said it in multiple interviews of his own when talking about Pompeo. He's said this at least 4 different times. If it wasn't true, could have sued him. I mean, you're talking about a lawyer contacting him. They could have lawyered up and done something about this if it wasn't true. Leads me to believe that it actually was. Pompeo was also the person who had a huge role in Trump not releasing the JFK files, if you did not know. He was the one, Trump actually says, Pompeo begged him not to release the files as, at one point he was CIA director. People are talking about who's involved with this whole thing, but there was a definite big reason why Pompeo was begging for that not to happen. Now that Trump kind of has shown us through a very polite measure, very skillful measure of just taking away their security detail, he's kind of showed them like, I'm going to do what I want. He released those files, which you all know about, I'm sure. But amazing, just amazing stuff, man. I love to see this Trump. I have to say, you guys know I'm a Joe Rogan nerd. You guys know that. Joe Rogan once said about Francis Ngannou, gigantic UFC fighter, big African guy. And he was all wild when he first started fighting. He would get real wild and he had these huge power shots. And then one fight, he learned a little bit and he trained a little bit. He had better people around him. And all of a sudden he came into this fight all patient. And he still had the power, but he was real patient about the shots he would take. And Joe Rogan was actually commenting on one of the fights, doing the commentator thing. And he said a patient Francis is very scary. And I would say that exact thing about Donald Trump. This Trump to the deep state is way more scary. He doesn't have to say inflammatory things. He's like, why say something inflammatory? I'm just going to take away your security detail. You sent me a message with my ear. I send you a message. You showed me I wasn't protected. No problem. I'm showing you you're not protected. Whoo, I love it, man. Absolutely love it. I just wanted to bring that to you guys really quick. I don't know what Fauci got a pardon, but he didn't need the pardon. He didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, right? But he still got it. So that's good. He got a medal. He got a pardon. That's fantastic. Good for him. You know, no security detail. That's fine. You know, I'm going to be polite like Trump. Heard he made a lot of money. I think he'll be fine. Anyways, guys, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications. Helps the channel tremendously. I'm out.